On this episode of Team Building Saves the World.
I went to their first show and went, I have made the worst mistake of my life. You're not face to face with somebody. You can lose as much as 93% of the content of what they're saying. We're working on our yes muscles because our no muscles are very, very well exercised. There are people that are like, I'm really afraid, but I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they're sassy. They're ready to go.
Hello, team. It's me, your old friend Rich Rinnensland, host of Team Building Saves the World. And I gotta say, this was a good episode for me. Now, I have enjoyed all of our guests, particularly this season, but there is a special joy for me when I get to speak with another improv performer. And today, we have quite the performer for you. Patrick Short has been teaching, facilitating, and performing improvisation since 1987. He's a globally connected leader in the applied improv space, and we're going to learn how he uses musical creativity and humor to unlock group potential and communication in today's ever-changing marketplace. But first, I got to share some love with all of my supporters at Team Bonding. If your team is ready to experience teamwork through the power of play, then visit teambonding.com to learn more. Now, team, let's talk about the revolution of improv all around the world with the executive director of CSZ Worldwide and board member for the Applied Improvisation Network and Access to Play Nigeria, Patrick Short. Patrick Short, thank you so much for coming on the show, my friend. It's good to see you. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. A pleasure to be here.
And if we can, because we have had improvers in the past, but I don't know that we've had anybody who's reached your level of expertise at it. So if you can, just give us a brief little rundown. Tell us what got you into this line of work and what it was about it that you thought you could take it to new heights.
Wow, that's a lot right there. And the origin story is really, really long, and I'll try to tell a short version of it. So I was in a grad school program at the University of Wisconsin in the 1980s. I have an MFA in directing.
Nice.
And we were doing a summer stock show, and our professor, Del Lewis, came to us one night before a show during the performance thing and said, hey, there's this guy. He's coming over from Milwaukee. He's going to do an improv workshop. I think you should go. And a bunch of us were like, oh, okay, we're being paid to do theater this summer. We'll do more. And we went to this workshop, and it was a guy named Dick Chudnow. Was coming from Milwaukee, and he was doing a competitive improv show at the time called Theater Sports. And we did a bunch of workshops and played games, and it was a blast. It was awesome. But when it came time to commit, I very wisely said, I'm going to be in the third year of my MFA. I have to direct 2 shows. I have to stage manage. I have to write a thesis.
Right.
I have to do this and that. I also had an independent study that was go form a theater company, license a play, rehearse it, take it on the road and sell it kind of thing. It was pretty awesome, but that was going to be a lot of work. And so I chose not to join at that time. And I went to their first show and went, I have made the worst mistake of my life. That looks like so much fun. Audience volunteered in a game, and I went several times during the year, but because I had not joined at the beginning, they had sort of launched, they had a great group. There wasn't a lot of room for additional players. Yeah. I did a couple other workshops during the time, and then got a second chance because 4 of us from that program were hired by a children's theater in Sunnyvale, California called California Theater Center, and moved out to California. And one of those people was Jeff Kramer, who was a friend of mine. And he said, I'm going to start Comedy Sports out here. It was Comedy Sports by that time. Right. I'm going to start Comedy Sports out here, and I want you to be in it. And that time I said yes. So we opened in the fall of 1987, September of 87. So I've been playing Comedy Sports for 38 years now.
Including, according to the background that my team lovingly put together for you, that also includes teaching and facilitating.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is I was teaching improv before I was performing at Wisconsin. I was a TA in a class called Creative Drama for Children, teaching teachers how to use theater in the classroom. And 90% of that was improv. And
Nice.
so I had a kind of a different background when we started than some other folks in traditional comedy improv. But yeah, so I was Comedy Sports has a referee, and I was a referee for the first 52 shows.
Hmm.
Wasn't planning on playing until I had to get thrown in to replace someone who was ill, and did okay. And Jeff and I thought, oh, you can play too. All right, great. So I was with Comedy Sports in San Jose for 5.5 years. I was Jeff's general manager, kind of the guy with the checkbook, and
Right. Gotcha.
putting systems together. And it was a really fun process of figuring things out and making things up. And at the same time, I had a high tech career with a company called Altos Computer Systems, later bought by Acer, who made it not so much fun.
Sure.
And I got a job with one of my best customers in Beaverton, Oregon, and my wife and I moved to Portland in fall of '92, and we opened Comedy Sports in 1993. We've now sold CSC Portland to Rick Stedman, a 25-year veteran of Spokane, Los Angeles, and Seattle Comedy Sports. He's doing an amazing job. We're on a 2-year consulting contract with him. We'll probably even continue past that.
Excellent.
I just don't have to do the day-to-day kind of stuff, and don't have to make payroll right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's the rough bones of the story. And one fun fact about CSC Portland is we did a show Friday, May 28th, 1993, and have not missed a weekend since, including the pandemic.
Fantastic. Plus, you've got your business side of it, which is your facilitation.
Yeah. The origin story of that's pretty funny. In San Jose, we were doing a show, and Comedy Sports players do a high five line with the audience on the way out. We greet them and thank them for being there, and continue
a little good game.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We have one of our players who tells every audience member, "You're my favorite," and that's great. I also introduced in the 80s the arm bash.
Nice.
From the Oakland Athletics, Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire, instead of shaking hands, because I'm slightly germophobic. Still do it to this day. And now people understand.
Right.
But we were doing the slap line, high five line, and I'm arm bashing. And these guys literally push me up against a wall and say, "We want to think like you." Ooh. And first I made sure they were talking to me. Group of folks from Apple. They were a newly formed group writing printer drivers.
Okay.
And doesn't sound exciting, but if you need to print, it's exciting.
Yeah.
They were having some trouble getting on the same page. They went to see Comedy Sports as a team building activity, and they saw us, to quote them, working seamlessly together and just following each other and helping each other. And I'd love for them to see a show now, but they wanted to work together. So we didn't know what to do, but we had a syllabus for performance improv for our 101 class. And we came to an agreement to do 6 Monday afternoons in Cupertino. And the fun part is I didn't even go teach them. I decided what was going to happen each week, but sent 2 people who didn't have day jobs. And at the end of it, they came back. Everybody was really happy. We had a check. We stared at the check for a while and thought, this is all right.
Excellent.
And that's where it started. And this is before the internet. So we were just announcing from the stage that we did improv training or team building with people. And it was Silicon Valley, so people bought it.
Sure.
And then over time, we figured out we're not teaching people to be performers. We're teaching people to use the tools that performers use and share some of the culture that improv performers have. So when they're doing it for the right reasons.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I want to dig into. Like, what is it about the culture of improv that you think the business world now needs more than ever?
Well, that's, again, a huge question.
Right.
A lot of it, because of our screens and because we're communicating a lot with text in short bursts on Instagram, and I mean, email even seems passé now. It seems very long form compared to how people communicate on, Slack and Discord and all.
Right.
People aren't used to communicating face to face. And of course, studies have shown that when you're not face to face with somebody, you can lose as much as 93% of the content of what they're saying. You're certainly losing any emotional content,
Right.
and oftentimes misinterpreting emotional content
Yep.
and creating problems. So to get in front of people is great, but you don't just stick people in front of people and say, hey, talk to each other.
Yeah.
What we do is we give them a venue and formats to do that are comfortable and easy. So the main skills are in communication, and a lot of it is, I think, listening skills are difficult and always have been difficult, but are even more difficult in today's complex society than they ever were. And they're far, far more important.
And that takes us back to the fundamentals for the improv workshops, because I mean, everybody by this point should know. And if you don't, my friends, why don't you? That the number one fundamental of improv is what again?
Well, I think it's listening.
Sure.
Everybody talks about yes and,
Right.
and that's great, but you're not going to get to yes and without listening.
Right.
So it's even the undercurrent of absolutely everything. We often tell people when we're teaching in our adult classes, and these are people who maybe they want to be performers, maybe they just want to see what improv's about, maybe they took judo last month and they're going to take knitting next month and they're taking improv this month. Either way, they're often surprised to find out that listening is more important than being funny or having presence or any of those other things.
Right.
Now, we can't teach presence, but we have a lot of professional players who you'd be surprised if you saw them off stage that they were professional improvisers, honestly. And, but that's learnable. Absolutely learnable. Now, there's some people that walk on stage and you immediately fall in love with them. And I wish I had that because I wouldn't have to work so hard.
Sure.
But really, truthfully, the main thing is listening to what's going on, listening to your scene partners, and then reacting to those things. Listening is absolutely fundamental. Also, another really important thing in performance improv, a little less important out in the business world, is we try to discourage people from planning too much. Now, yes, build a framework, but you can't expect everything to go according to plan, and you can't force it.
Right.
So the improv thing I like is, if this, what's next?
Good.
Rather than, I don't like this, I have to change this and get it back to where I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I have seen and taken part in so many shows myself, where improv shows very specifically, where, and this always happens, you have those groups who just know where the funny has been before. So they're always somehow trying to get the audience, they want to take the audience with them, of course. Everybody wants to be entertained, but they're trying to get them back to that funny. Not taking the funny as it comes from the audience.
Right. And that moment, if it was great, that was a singular moment in time, and it's gone.
Yep. Exactly right.
Go find another thing. And also sometimes revel in the stuff that's not working.
Right. Exactly. Like Bob Ross used to call them happy little accidents.
Yes.
It works just as well with painting as it does with improv.
Absolutely. Improv is a whole series of little accidents, most of them happy. Yeah. So.
And also just the reason we even bring up yes and is because it's supposed to be taking that listening skill and not only taking in what is being given to you, but building on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people hear yes and say, oh, I need to say yes no matter what. And honestly, at a very beginning level, it doesn't hurt to start sentence with yes.
Correct.
And those are training wheels. Put them away eventually.
Right.
A great applied improvisation teacher, Sue Walden, she died in the last couple of years. A really, really phenomenal person. Used to do a breakdown with a group. I mean, she didn't tell people what yes and mean. She just did a breakdown, a workshop that broke it down. And the workshop that I was in broke down yes and to respect and inspiration. The yes part is respect for the other person, other people, for their ideas.
Right.
Even respect for bad ideas. It's almost respect for the process rather than what the product is.
Good.
And the inspiration part, the and part, is inspiration. It's like, I hear you, I see you, we're in this together, and here's what I'm going to contribute. That's yes and. and don't expect that the and is the last answer.
Right.
Because the other folks are going to yes and you.
Correct.
So you can absolutely say no. We actually had some exercises up until about 15 years ago. We would tell people in these corporate exercises, you can't say no in this game. Don't say no.
Yeah.
And part of it was smart. We're working on our yes muscles because our no muscles are very, very well exercised, and we need to exercise our yes muscles. But at the same time, you start to get into some absolutely fascinating debates around consent if people can't say no. And part of it is we don't want a character saying no to an improviser saying no to the improv situation unless they feel threatened or endangered. But characters can say no. Characters say no all the time.
Exactly right.
And we just don't want it to be the default, right? And so we're training it to not be the default.
My teams and I, for improvers I've worked with in the past, came up with the yes, but. So you're still taking it in. You're still acknowledging that the receipt of that idea, but you're massaging it a little bit more than just accepting and building.
Yeah, there's danger in that too. Yes, but can be a fancy way to say no. I know I'm supposed to say yes. I know I'm supposed to honor you, but the idea sucks. Well, how many times has a great idea sprung out of an idea that sucked? Lots of times. Like any idea is better than no idea. I tell people when I'm teaching in a 101 level that honestly, what I'm teaching you here over the 7 weeks is just make a decision. You don't know what's happening. Decide what's happening. Anything is fine. And anything you say, the stupidest thing you can say is better than nothing. Because your teammates can take it and double down on it and make it hilarious, or they can take it and fix it. There are so many things that can happen as long as you do something, make a move, and then, see what happens. And then sometimes if it was terrible, once again, it's gone. We're not going to worry about it unless you're videoing it.
And then just going to constantly rehash it.
Since the pandemic, we stream all of our shows, but but it's actually at a certain point, it becomes a very, very helpful tool to go back and look at what things actually looked like. I kind of discourage beginners from doing that. Like if we do a showcase at our 300 level and it's their first show, we do stream it so that people can see it from around the country or around the world if they need to. But I do tell them, don't go watch it. Just live in the moment. Right? You can watch stuff later.
But why do you think it works? Like, what do you think that a business organization, or just even more importantly, the individuals involved in a business together, why do you think this level of teaching works for them?
I think it's because for many people, it's a revolution. That's not how businesses have always worked. They've always worked with top down. Here's the plan. Do it this way. Then by the time it's too late, the plan didn't work. We'll do a new plan.
Yeah.
And the idea that everybody's ideas are valued, everybody can and should make decisions at almost any point as long as they're competent to do so.
Right.
We have a list of things, and on that list was listening, accepting, supporting, taking competent risks, letting go of mistakes. Competent was an ad, maybe 20 years ago, but I was telling corporations we were going to teach taking risks. They didn't love that idea. Taking competent risks, stepping in, figuring things out, then maybe stepping outside the lines or shaking things up. That's fine. If you come in the first day to a new organization or a new division, new company you've just bought, perhaps even a new social media giant that's new to you, you don't just blow it up right away before you understand how it works. Or maybe you do, and it loses 90% of its value. I don't know. Could be. Good example. Just not naming names because they're listening.
Of course. Yeah.
So the fact that you can build a culture where people feel value, where their ideas are valued, where they're going to be listened to, where everybody can contribute, and everybody has them. If they have the perspective, they can lead. Those organizations are more adaptable to change, and they're more resilient when things don't go right.
Now let's talk music improv, because you don't just work with the standardized type of improv. What about music improv that inspires that same sort of feeling, that same sort of connectedness?
Yeah, let's be very careful that the music improv and the corporate improv, the Venn diagram has only a sliver where they overlay.
Okay.
I have done, I think, 3 corporate workshops where I've incorporated music in my career. So it's not often. You got to be deep and trusting to go there.
Yeah.
Music improv, I come from a musical background. That's how I got into theater ultimately. And I played piano since I was 8 years old. I've written songs since I was about 13.
That's awesome.
My brother taught me how to voice guitar chords on the piano, and that just kind of turned me loose. So technically, I'm not a gifted player, but I can make stuff up. That's super helpful. So music improv, it's like if improv is a high wire act, music improv is being on that high wire between 2 skyscrapers. I mean, it's very scary. Music is so tied to people's souls that to let loose with it is a real act of courage. And when we teach music improv, we've got to get almost everybody past some level of having been told that they're not good at music, because everybody's been told that at one point or another. Even the really good musicians have run into a teacher who decided they weren't the gift. Right. Yeah. And it really is, it's tucked in a different part of your brain. I think it's really attached to your soul. It's tremendously important to people, even to non-musical people who don't know it yet. And when you can improvise musically, it's absolutely liberating. It's unbelievable. So regular improv, stage performance improv, is a little like jazz. You agree on a framework, and then you're going to play inside that framework.
Okay.
In jazz, they'll say, here's the key we're playing in. It's kind of the idea that we're playing with. Sometimes jazz is really structured, but in a lot of free jazz, we're just going to start and we're going to see where it goes. We do in music improv a bunch of structures, and then that can get freer and freer as people get more experienced. So within our comedy sports shows, Comedy Sports is in 25 cities. Some do more music than others. Our Portland team is, because I play keyboards, has always done a ton of music, but we're pretty good at it. We've got a pretty deep bench for it, and a couple other really fine keyboard players over the years, and one absolutely superb musician that we're working with right now. And this allows us to just elevate our show by doing musical stuff, because the fun part of musical improv is it's a bonus if it's funny, but it absolutely doesn't have to be at all.
Right.
It's still magical. People hit harmonies, they end a song together. Wait, they invented a chorus together? Audiences are blown away by that. And we have an improviser who works with our video screens. We have an inside program. One of our players, Bill Cernansky, wrote a program called Janus. And Janus is a PC-based controller for our video screens. Marianne Rambo from our team had just leaned into this about 20 plus years ago, and is an absolute wizard at throwing images up and other things. One thing Marianne would do, if she recognizes a chorus, the next time the chorus comes around, she puts up the words and the audience sings along. And there's something absolutely magical about that.
Okay. I was about to say, how hard is it to get people to want to actually play with this? I imagine it's slightly easier with just regular improvisational games than music, because, like you say, music is so important to people.
We have some really skilled improvisers on our team who are terrified of music, and we make them do it. And there are people on our team over the years. Again, Portland's been going for over 32 years, and there are people that joined us in the 90s who would have classified themselves as tone deaf, but we just kept working on them, and they became singers. Do they have traditionally beautiful voices? Maybe not. Can they get an audience all pumped up about their passion and excitement during a game? Absolutely. Yes. And it's a lot of it is just about commitment. And it's hard with all the fears built around music to get committed easily.
Right.
So the classes that we teach to that, we have a 3-stage class, an intro, and intermediate. We're doing the intermediate right now, 4-week class. And then we have an advanced class that's 5 or 6 weeks where they actually grow to showcase at the end of it.
Wow.
And there are people that, at the start of 304, they're like, I'm really afraid, but I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they're sassy. They're ready to go. It's awesome. And you can constantly work on getting better. I mean, I still need to work on getting better at what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we've done some really, really cool things. 20 years ago or so, we had a side group called Screaming Mimes that did 45-minute rock operas. Wow. No spoken word. We just rocked through 4 and 5 part harmonies. We played at some festivals, and there were people would come up to us and go, I've never heard people do that kind of harmony in an improv thing before. I'm like, that's cool. Now lots of people are doing it, which is great. We also, 2 other shows I'm currently working in. I have a duo based in Portland called Alley Loops. So Emily Larkin and I have a keyboard and a Boss looper, and we sing and we get people's stories about positive things and we turn them into songs. It's all very hopeful. And sometimes it's from the beat up. Like Emily will beatbox, I'll add a bass line, and we'll get noises from the audience. We add them to the looper, and then we play and sing along to that. The other thing that we do is we have a bunch of styles in there. We have people pick a number, and we have to invent the style, including Emily's favorite, number 57. It's a jazz thing, and it came up 4 shows in a row, and she's sick of it. But I also have an electronic wind synthesizer that I can play saxophone on, and we were doing a show in Boise, and I whipped that thing out, and we did a little talk back and forth between her and me playing on the saxophone. And we were doing 2 shows on a Friday and Saturday night, and the Saturday night people were like, oh, you need to play the sax again. And I was like, yes, I only practiced it with that one loop. So, you don't want to hear that truly improvised. Trust me.
Nice.
Singing, sure, I'll do anything. But
dare I ask, the Janus program, is that named after the Muppet from Dr. Teeth?
It should be. It's just another nice improv scoring system.
Gotcha.
Is where it came from.
Okay.
And now Janus has a personality of her own. And let me tell you, we've just moved theaters. We were in the same space on the same street for 32 years, in the same theater for 29. We just moved to a new location. And even though I'm retired, I was in charge of moving the tech. So the lights, the sound, the streaming, and sort of co-working with Janus.
Yeah.
And Janus has been, and issues.
Is she being diva-ish?
Yeah. Like, I worked the last 2 days. I'm not going to work today.
That's a diva.
Yeah. We discovered that after a certain length of HDMI cable, you have to have a certain kind of HDMI cable that we didn't have, because we had shorter runs in our previous theater.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh, you need a directional kind of powered HDMI. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Janus supports all the stuff that we do. In Alley Loops, Emily and I are up there we're getting stories from people, and Marianne is popping pictures related to what they're doing while we're doing it. It's really, really super fun. The other musical show that we just debuted in May, it's coming back November 1st for a 2-month run, is Vision Euro. It's a improvised Eurovision knockoff that was invented at CSZ Seattle by Erica Lowe and David Gordon, who did this brilliant job of distilling the energy of a Eurovision contest grand final into a night of improv. So the actors, there are 4 competitors a night. It could be a duo, could be a solo. There's a host. There are other improvisers to assist. And the competitors find out what country they're representing on stage at the beginning of the show.
Nice.
So, oh, you're from Germany. You're from Iceland. You're from Croatia. You're from Ireland. And then we see the background stories. Everybody has to be in dialect. We see the background stories. There's a pre-party song where everybody sings together. Then the competitor songs happen, and the audience votes on a final. Audience all has flags that they're waving. And I have never been at an improv show where the audience was that loud.
Wow.
I mean, it's something else. So we had maybe 5 empty seats at the first one, and the last 3 weeks were jam-packed, sold out. And so our new owner asked for 2 months this time.
That's fantastic. Good for you.
We're coming back. Yep. And the folks who talk about yes and the folks from CSC Seattle were like, oh, yeah, we'd love to have you do the show. Here's all the help. Here's music. Here's this. Here are information sheets. Here's all this stuff that you can adapt. We'll come down and come to a workshop and give you notes, which they did. Nice. And phenomenal. And we even had a slot where we had one of the players who'd played in Seattle come down and play in Portland. And that was amazingly successful. So looking for more of that. So,
but speaking of Eurovision, you do a lot of cross-continental work with different companies, don't you?
Yes, the pandemic caused that. And I've taught in 5 countries physically and 44 if you include Zoom.
Okay.
So,
okay.
We've had, obviously that's slowed down some, but we still do online work. I taught it in a class in Indiana University's Kelley School of Business just last week, for instance. But yeah, we've mostly American companies with branches elsewhere. Super exciting. On one of them, there was a company based on the East Coast that had branches in Nigeria and Uganda and Kenya. Wow. And I have an associate in Nigeria, and I thought, well, I'm going to need a sidekick. There's going to be people from Africa. Why don't I have somebody from Africa be a sidekick?
Nice.
People welcome. So Damilola comes on to the thing, and the people come on the screens, and the manager of their office in Nigeria and Damilola knew each other.
Holy
so that
cat.
country has 330 million people, and they knew each other. So that's kind of magical.
Yeah, very. But have you discovered that improv means different things to people of different nations?
I think that it's viewed as a very North American thing, Canadian American. That's changing, and I think people are much more exposed to it. Obviously, it's more deeply penetrated in North America and Europe, and Australia and New Zealand than perhaps other places. But I'm a member of the Applied Improvisation Network, which is a organization of people who do applied improv with either business or in education or social settings. And there are thousands of members on every continent except Antarctica, but I think somebody's been there.
Okay.
So Asia is coming up. Africa, I can think of 3 practitioners in that whole continent right now. But so there's certainly work to be done to do some outreach and spread the word. But previously mentioned, I'm on the board of Damilola's Nigerian organization. It's called Access to Play, and they're currently doing work in displaced persons camps, refugee camps in Benue State in Nigeria.
Wow.
There's a huge conflict between nomadic tribes and villagers who, sort of set aside and fenced land.
Yeah.
And basically it's a war. People are being chased out of situations and then put into camps. And literally USAID was in those camps and then pulled out. And there's nothing except food and shelter, no programs whatsoever. And Damilola and his team have gone in and worked with teens, with young women, with victims of gender-based violence, and with what he calls elder women. But I don't think you want to hear where that number starts.
Okay.
Would be insulting to some people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But taking improv, that's improv on the ground.
Sure.
Right? That's as important as anything anybody's ever done. That's saving lives and making lives mean something.
But when you talk about the distances between people, because in the beginning we were even talking about how, people who work in the same company rarely speak face to face to each other anymore. How have you seen that improv has helped the cross communication between those different countries.
Well, I'm told that it's much easier for people to pick up the phone or hit the button on the computer and FaceTime or equivalent,
Right.
rather than just texting, Discord, Slack, emailing. We get that feedback that people are much more connected because they have found they're viewing each other as people and not just positions.
Okay.
We have a tendency to put people in org charts and put them in positions, and that's the person who runs that department. But the person who runs that department could be an important person in my network
Okay.
too. I mean, it's not just a personal thing. It's better work will happen if I recognize that everybody around me could be a help and I could be a help to them. When I was in customer service in the tech industry a long time ago, because it didn't take me long to get into sales, just because I showed up and looked interested.
Right.
My sort of idea was I wanted to be the second to last person in the company that somebody needed outside the company needed to talk to.
Okay.
And that's a message that I like to convey. Everybody is in customer service. It might not be your problem, but it's your problem.
Yeah.
In a big sense. And the best thing to do is to get them to the right place and not just fob them off on something, not just say, oh, I have to transfer you, but make sure that it's the right person. And we've all had the experiences of getting bounced around ridiculously from companies where they don't have a culture where anybody cares about that. I honestly wish we could do far more work in call centers than we're allowed to. We've done some, but in nowhere is it more important and probably less improv than in those situations.
Yeah. When you just got to follow a script, that's the waste of human potential. There's no communication happening there.
Absolutely insane. And I've had a couple of situations as a customer or a client where they're clearly on a script and I'm like, please listen to me.
Yeah.
You can skip 12 of the 13 questions because I've been through them before. It's our XYZ ID got changed. That's why our internet service isn't working. We know this. And, getting through can be tough because folks in that kind of thing, they actually get punished for stepping outside the lines.
Exactly right.
Shouldn't.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And no time is allowed to create, that interaction between you and the person on the other end of the phone.
When the job is to get people off the phone.
Yes.
The problem.
Yeah.
That's a broken culture. And one of the things that I love to preach is that customer service is an opportunity, not a cost.
Right.
It's an opportunity. In CSC Portland, our whole thing, I almost wanted to go around making mistakes so that we could fix them. And whenever anybody has a ticket problem and they call in and we're like, oh, we'll fix that. They're like, what? I don't have to yell at you. Just yesterday, I'm no longer the owner, but I've been demoted to education director. I got a call from a woman who was the second night of our 101 class, and her domestic situation has changed. She doesn't have childcare. She doesn't think she can do the class. And I was like, email me and we will put your registration into the next time 101 happens in January. And she's like, what? I'm like, that's it. It's so easy.
Yeah.
No, we can't give you your money back because we spent it already, but we'll take care of you.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Patrick, this has been amazing. What a wonderful conversation this has been. Thank you so much again for coming on. Before we say our farewells and play some games together, can I just ask, for those people out there in my team who are listening now and they're thinking, well, this sounds good. It all sounds very positive and uplifting and, forward thinking, but I'm just not sure. Is there any way we can just get that person over the hump into realizing this is something that, they can use it to better their own culture, their own interactions, so forth?
Well, at some point, it's a leap of faith. Every client who reaches out to us who has not had direct experience with it, even if somebody told them it was great, it's still a leap of faith. But what I like to tell people is, if this really did not work for you and your group, if it was destructive in some way, we'll give you your money back. Or we'll give you a partial refund. If I sent somebody else, I had to pay them. Right. And how many times have we done that? Zero. Never. I've never had anybody unhappy on this side of our performance house. Once in a while, our team will go and do a road show, a performance thing, and it's not the right fit. And we do everything we can do to get things right sometimes, but just sometimes alcohol's involved, not our end, but on their end. And
right.
It's just not right. It hasn't happened lately. I'm trying to think in the last 10 years.
Good.
I don't think it has, but it's happened periodically. But in the training side, never.
Okay.
And no one has ever said this wasn't worth my money. Ever.
There you go.
Ever.
Patrick Short, my team. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you so much, Patrick. That's just a bunch of people.
A lot more people listening.
Yeah. Well, I keep them under my desk. I just make, I throw food scraps at them every once in a while, and they just really love applauding. Did you have a good time, my friend?
I did. Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope you continue to have a good time, because it is time for my speed round.
I can't wait.
All right. Just to remind you what this is, because this show did start off as facilitators talking to facilitators, what's going to wind up happening is I'm going to ask you over 60 seconds a series of completely silly questions just to see how much more we can learn about you personally. And if you want to make a game out of this, we want to gamify it, which we always love to do. We have actually beaten 17 questions asked within 60 seconds.
Oh, my answers will be too long to beat anybody on that.
Then don't worry about it. Let's just have some fun. That's also what we do here. So when you hear music, which keeps me in track of the time, I'll start asking the first question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. What's your name?
Patrick Short.
Do you have any kids?
2.
Which one's your favorite?
Both.
If you could be any fictional character for a day, which one would you be?
I would like to be a Superman.
Explain or tell us about the most unusual hobby you've ever had.
Helping people clean something up.
What's the most unusual meal you've ever eaten?
Oh, octopus.
If you could have any animal as a pet, what would it be and why?
Cheetah, because they're cool.
Name a time where you laughed really hard.
Last time I actually watched an improv show at our theater, not being in it.
Nice. Who's the funniest person you know?
My wife.
If you could choose a nickname for yourself, what would it be?
Electrical. That is my nickname.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
And if you could remotely work from anywhere in the world, where would you do it?
I'd move a lot. London, Amsterdam, Iceland, Sydney.
14, buddy. You got 14. That's really good.
Good.
Yeah. Our average is somewhere between 11 and 13, so you are above average. That quick thinking part of your brain works.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Patrick, for the last time, just if there's any way my team out there might have more questions about you or about CSZ, where can they find you?
Well, the easy thing is email patrick@portlandcomedy.com. That's patrick@portlandcomedy.com.
Patrick Short, everybody. Thanks, pal.
Thank you.